Hello. In this lecture presented by www.free-academy.com, we're going to be doing problems 13 and 14 out of the text practicing the derivative power rules. Now, these are a little bit more complicated than the few examples that we've done before. Before, we've all been doing stuff like, say, x squared, or the square root of x to the third, square root of 2 times x to the third. And now we're on to something that's radically different. We have to find the derivative of x to the negative third and the derivative of 1 over x to the seventh. Now you're going to find that doing x to the negative third is actually quite easy because n in our derivative power rule is always equal to the exponent, so n is equal to negative 3. And n minus 1 is just subtracting 1 from x. Minus 3 minus 1 is equal to negative 4. So to find f prime of x, at least for the first term, is equal to n times x raised to the n minus 1 power. But how do we do that for the second term? Well, that's not very complicated either, just as long as you rewrite this as x to the negative seventh. And that's something that should be familiar with you from your algebra classes, that if you have 1 over something to an exponent, to bring it back on top, you change the sign of the exponent. To put it to the bottom, you change the sign of the exponent. X to the negative third could be written as 1 over x to the third, for example. So, anyways, so we've rewritten this term as x to the negative seventh. N is equal to the exponent, and we find n minus 1 is equal to negative 8. So this is going to be equal to n times x to the n minus 1. And the whole equation equals minus 3x to the minus 4th minus 7x to the negative 8th. And that is our derivative for problem 13. Not very bad once we split it up. We're going to do a very similar process for 14. We're going to rewrite this equation. F of x is equal to x to the 1/2 power plus x to the negative 1 power. Because of course your square root is equal to having a 1/2 in the exponent. So now we'll find n is equal to 1/2. N minus 1 is equal to negative 1/2. And then for the second part, n is equal to negative 1. And n minus 1 is equal to negative 2. So find the derivative. F of x is equal to n x to the n minus 1 power. And then for the second part, it's n x to the n minus 1 power. And just to clean it up and rewrite it, we'll have f prime of x is equal to 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 minus x to the negative 2 power. And those are the derivatives for problems 13 and 14. It was just a matter of putting everything into the exponential form and then using our power rule to solve it.